Alrighty, hello, my name is Jack, and I'm going to be teaching you how to program instead of what to program. I don't like a lot of the videos on YouTube because it's, here's a program, and they're not actually teaching you guys what the program commands and what the programs actually do and how to make your own programs. And so I'm going to be going through how to make a Pythagorean theorem program. It's very simple, and it's like 6 lines, and well, let's get started. So for the first command that we're going to be running, it's prompt. And so prompt is just kind of asking you, okay, what do you have as the value of A? Because if we have a right triangle, and we have a value of one of the legs, and we have a value of the other one of the legs, we can solve for the third leg using the Pythagorean theorem. But first off, the program needs to know what numbers you have for A and for B. And so, prompt B. Alright, so we have our two sides. Now we have to actually work with the sides. So we have A, and A plus B, and we have to square A, so we can use caret and then do 2, or we can just go over here in this editor and do that, and then store as C. And so this is just a square. It's the same as doing a caret 2, but I like it better as this because I have A the option 2, and B it's just nicer to work with. This is the little store arrow, meaning the we're going to take whatever this number is and we're going to store it as this variable, and so they're now being made the same. And so if you call on C, it would be the same as calling on these the a squared plus b squared. Alright, and so it's a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared, and so this looks like it's c, but it's the value of c squared. And so we have to then take the square root of c and then store it as c again. So we're going to take the square root, which is over here, and take the square root of c, because it's square root of c squared is equal to c. And so now we have c, and we can display c. So this is our entire program. So you're asking for A, you're asking for B, you're doing the things that you want to do with A and B to get c squared, you're simplifying c squared down into c, and then we're displaying the value of c, which is then the answer that we want. And so make sure, well, we can get into the ways that you can mess that up in a bit. So if you want to make this into make this a part of a bigger program where you can, if you have, let's say you have C and you have B but you don't know what A is, instead of making a whole new program for that, you can actually take this part and the other part of the program, where you have C and where you have B, and you can make a program that does both those by doing this. So this is 3 parts, and it might look like a lot, but we'll start off with the menu. This is just the first line, and this is just this line, but it's rewritten in like English, if you will. So if we take the command, which is just the command, which is just menu, and then you to input into the command you have the question, and so it's what do you have? That's the question I have. And then the option 1 is A and B, so if you have A and B, then you can choose option 1. But what happens if you choose option 1? What do you want the program to do? Well, you want it to go to label 1. So, and that's what this is. And it's, there you go. So you're saying go to this label. So if this was label 37, or label, X, or whatever, it would go to whatever that label was. So you just, instead of having to write go to label 2, you just write go to label. Or you just write the label, the number of the label. And so then this is the second option, and this is the what to do. Option 1, option 2, what to do if option 2. That's these 2 parts. Alright, so now we have labels, which are basically like bookmarks. And so when the program is reading through the lines, actually it wouldn't read through this line. So it's just reading through, okay, you have label 1, and then prompt, and it's making sure it's all good so that when it runs the program, it won't throw an error. And so, okay, you have your menu, you have your label, and then you have prompt A, prompt B. That's the same stuff we just did. So this is just this program, but it's copied over, and it's a little longer, so you don't actually have to write it this expanded form. You can actually simplify it down. And then label 2 is just if you have B and C, so you have to make sure that it's C squared minus B squared, and then that's what your value of A is, and then square root of A, and that gives you your value of A. It's switching A and C pretty much. And so that's the whole program. And if you want to find out exactly what these functions do, you can go to TI Basic Developer, which is a website, and you can look up what the functions mean and how to use them and where they are and things like that on that website. Or you can use YouTube and Google, but those aren't usually as forthcoming with information. And then the other thing you have is the catalog, and then also this little syntax reference down here. Ooh, excuse me. So on the catalog, you do second, and then you do 0, and that opens up the catalog. And if you then do alpha, or actually you don't hit alpha, if you hit one of the buttons that has a green letter above it, it'll take you to that section of the catalog that has those letters. And then if you find the function specifically that you're looking for, you can hit plus, and it'll take you to the definition or the use of, or how to use the function that you're specifically looking at. And then using those materials, you should be able to find out what other functions here do that aren't really mathematical functions. Give her the list, you have lists and operations, and you can get really in-depth with all those, but we'll start small. We'll start with the things that we have. And so using these, the menu, the label, the prompt, and then display, you should be able to make bigger programs that do very simple, like addition if you want to make something that's really, really basic, but make sure that you're making I like making a program that isn't going to waste my time, so I don't have this program in my calculator, because I can do that very, very easily by hand. So I usually make programs for more complex things, and we can get into more complex programs if you guys want, depending on the feedback that I get for chemistry or for math or for physics, and it's just up to you guys. If you have any questions, you can ask me, or you can look at the information that I provided. Oh, that was the other thing. If you can, I would challenge you guys to simplify this down. You can simplify it into fewer lines of code. This is the simpler version, and you can actually simplify this down into fewer lines of code, and so I would challenge you guys to do that and see if you can. That being said, have a good day, and see you guys.